We seriously need to talk about the Super Bowl because before the game even kicked off, the internet was already exploding with drama, and most of it had Bad Bunny right in the middle of it. Everyone was buzzing about his upcoming performance, and the talk online just kept getting louder by the minute. Let's break down everything that went down, from the halftime chaos to the wild reactions on social media. The Super Bowl is always a massive deal, but this year, it felt like the whole world had their eyes glued to every detail. And it wasn't just about football, it was about culture, music, and major controversy. Things actually started heating up months ago when Apple Music, the NFL, and Rock Nation dropped the announcement that Bad Bunny would headline the Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show. That single announcement? It blew up instantly. Fans were hyped. This was a huge move. Bad Bunny being chosen meant he'd become the first predominantly Spanish-speaking artist to ever take that iconic stage. For so many people, this was history in the making, a win for cultural pride and representation on one of the most watched broadcasts in the world. But while fans were celebrating, not everyone was cheering. Political voices, including the president, started chiming in, and things got messy fast. Suddenly, it turned political. Critics started shouting that this was un-American. They were saying, how could they let Bad Bunny perform at the Super Bowl? And some even pointed out that he's Puerto Rican and mostly sings in Spanish. But those comments didn't age well, because people were quick to clap back, reminding everyone that Puerto Rico is part of the United States, and Spanish-speaking Americans are just as American as anyone else. The backlash was fierce. And then, as if that wasn't enough drama, Turning Point USA decided to jump into the mix. They announced their own version of the show, something they called the All-American Halftime Show, with Kid Rock headlining. They said it would be a celebration of faith, family, and freedom. Later, they dropped more names: Brantley Gilbert, Lee Brice, and Gabby Barrett, turning this into a full-on cultural standoff. The internet couldn't stop talking about it. What really had me scratching my head was how they were even planning to time that whole All-American halftime show. Like, were they just gonna sit around on standby waiting for the NFL's halftime to hit? Because, let's be real, football games are unpredictable. You never know when a timeout's gonna happen or when the clock's gonna stop. It's not like they could say, all right, halftime's exactly at 5 o'clock sharp. That's just not how it works. So I kept wondering, were they literally sitting there watching the game just to figure out when to start performing? Because no matter how separate this event was supposed to be, it still kinda depended on the actual Super Bowl, right? Like, to know when halftime was happening, you had to be tuned in somehow. So even if they were trying to distance themselves, they were still part of the same moment, in a weird way. Anyway, before the big game, Brantley Gilbert decided to speak up after people started asking, who even is Brantley Gilbert? And why is he performing at this event? He dropped a long post that gave everyone a little background about who he is and what he stands for. He said, I'm a songwriter who grew up and still lives in Jackson County, Georgia. My goal in music was just to sell out the local theater near my house and somehow make a living writing songs. He opened up about his past too, saying, I'm a recovering addict with a history of bad choices. I'm not proud of them, but I'm proud of turning my life around. He explained that he shares his story through his music, hoping it'll inspire others going through dark times. He also said, I'm a Christian and I love our country, flaws and all. I've dedicated part of my life to the men and women who fight for it, and the families of those who gave their lives for it. And to wrap it up, he proudly added, above all, I'm a husband and father of 3. It was definitely a heartfelt post, the kind that got people talking even more before the big show. Brantley kept his post going with a pretty emotional message about why this moment meant so much to him. He said, we're celebrating 250 years as a country, and it's been more than 20 years since a country artist was invited to play the Super Bowl halftime show. He made it clear that he respected the opportunity, even if others saw it differently. He wrote, I'm not doing this to divide people. I was offered this chance, and I can't help but imagine my kids watching their dad perform at halftime during the biggest game in American football. Then he added something heartfelt. Everything I do for them. How I treat people isn't based on our differences. I believe that united we stand, divided we fall. My prayer for our country is that we stay united. He ended it by thanking his team and fans, saying he couldn't wait to hit the stage that Sunday and give everyone, quote, a hell of a show. But here's the thing, people online couldn't help but notice that Brantley was talking like he was performing at the actual Super Bowl halftime show, when in reality, he was performing at the alternative halftime show organized by Turning Point USA. It gave major main event energy. Even though it wasn't the halftime show everyone would be watching on TV. The confusion had social media buzzing again. As the big day got closer, everyone wanted to know what celebs thought about Bad Bunny's performance, and opinions were definitely split. Some stars said they were excited to see what he'd bring to the stage, but others, not so much. When Logan Paul was asked at the Super Bowl if he was excited for the halftime show, he straight up said no. And Jake Paul went even further. He posted on X during the game, writing, "Purposefully turning off the halftime show, let's rally together and show big corporations they can't just do whatever they want without consequences. You're their benefit. Realize you have power. Turn off this halftime. A fake American citizen performing who publicly hates America. I can't support that." That post sent the internet into total confusion, and people were quick to point out the irony. Both Logan and Jake own property in Puerto Rico, the same place Bad Bunny is from. Fans were calling them out left and right for that contradiction. The drama just kept snowballing from there. Yeah, the whole thing with Logan and Jake Paul saying that definitely rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. It just didn't make sense, and the internet wasted no time calling them out. One person fired off online, "Oh, we're good enough for your tax breaks in Puerto Rico and to cheer for your fake boxing fights? You're just another racist, a fake Puerto Rican neighbor." That comment went viral fast, and people were heated. But then, things took a turn after the Super Bowl. Logan Paul actually tried to clear the air with a follow-up tweet, saying, "I love my brother, but I don't agree with this. Puerto Ricans are Americans, and I'm happy they got the chance to show off the talent that comes from the island." That post cooled things off a bit. But by then, the drama had already hit every corner of social media. Meanwhile, Bad Bunny was catching major heat from all directions. The backlash around his Super Bowl halftime spot got so intense that fans started noticing something strange at the Grammys shortly after. People online were convinced he was wearing a bulletproof vest under his outfit. They said his jacket looked bulky, the fit seemed off, and the way he was moving felt unusually stiff, like he was trying to protect himself. Fans even pointed out how tense he seemed when Lady Gaga came up to greet him, saying he looked spooked and kept his distance. The internet ran wild with that theory, spreading photos and videos claiming they could see the outline of a vest under his clothes. It got so big that major outlets had to step in to fact-check the rumors. According to Complex, there's no evidence that Bad Bunny was actually wearing a bulletproof vest at the 2026 Grammy Awards. And Vanity Fair even debunked the theory completely, pointing to a behind-the-scenes Vogue video that showed him getting ready before the event. In that clip, he's seen putting on a custom scap rally outfit, a designer look that's just oversized and boxy, not armored. So, while fans thought they were spotting something protective, it turns out it was just fashion doing what fashion does, stirring up conversation and chaos all at once. Still, it shows just how intense the spotlight on Bad Bunny has become lately. In the Vogue behind-the-scenes clip, you could clearly see that Bad Bunny's outfit wasn't bulky because of a vest at all. It was designed that way on purpose. The outfit had a cinched, sculpted look, exactly how it appeared on the runway. It was high fashion, not high security. The designer wanted that structured silhouette, and fans who actually follow fashion could tell it was a creative styling choice, not body armor. Then, after the Grammys, Bad Bunny himself posted a video celebrating his wins, this time with his jacket off. Instantly, people noticed how much more relaxed he looked and how easily he was moving around. Some fans took that as proof that he hadn't been wearing any sort of vest all along, but others still believed he'd been genuinely scared, saying that with all the threats he was receiving, it wouldn't have been shocking if he had taken precautions. What is true, though, is that Bad Bunny openly admitted that the pressure leading up to the Super Bowl had gotten to him. According to BBC, he said at a press conference, "Last night I couldn't sleep." He revealed that he kept waking up around 4 a.m., constantly thinking about the upcoming performance. That alone shows how much weight this moment carried for him. It wasn't just another show, it was history in the making. BBC also noted that Bad Bunny hinted his halftime performance would focus on unity and healing rather than controversy or division. He said, "I know that the world is going to be happy this Sunday. They're going to dance, they're going to have fun, and they're going to have a good time." And when the big day finally came, he meant every word of it. During his performance, he delivered a powerful message that instantly went viral. At one point, he held up a football that read, "Together we are America." Behind him, dancers carried the flags of every nation across North, Central, and South America, plus the Caribbean, painting a stunning picture of connection and pride. On the massive screen behind them, bold words appeared. "The only thing more powerful than hate is love." The crowd went wild, and as if that wasn't enough star power, the stage lit up with surprise guests. Lady Gaga joined him for a breathtaking duet, and then Ricky Martin came out, driving the energy through the roof. Fans were losing it online when even more surprise cameos appeared. Jessica Alba, Pedro Pascal, Karol G, Cardi B, and Alex Earl all made appearances during the set. It wasn't just a concert, it was a cultural statement, a global celebration, and one of the most talked about Super Bowl halftime shows in years. A lot of people were shocked to see Alex Earl pop up during Bad Bunny's halftime performance, and instantly, the internet wanted answers. Fans were confused, saying she doesn't usually speak out about major issues, so they couldn't understand why Bad Bunny would include her in such a powerful, culturally symbolic show. It felt random to some, but there had to be a connection. And there actually is one. Turns out, the link might not be Alex herself, but the man often seen standing right next to her, David Grutman. Now, if you don't know who that is, David's a major businessman in Miami's nightlife and hospitality scene. He's the powerhouse behind restaurants like Komodo and Poppy Steak, plus the world-famous nightclubs Live and Story in Miami. This guy runs half the city's nightlife. But here's where it gets interesting. David also co-owns a restaurant in Miami with Bad Bunny called Gecko. That's right, the two are business partners. So it's not hard to see how their professional relationship could have led to Alex being part of the halftime lineup. Because on top of that, David's also been working directly with Alex Earl. Just last week, Deadline reported that David Grutman had signed an overall deal with Wheelhouse, the production company behind Alex's upcoming Netflix reality series. The headline literally read, "Hospitality mogul David Grutman strikes overall deal with Wheelhouse after landing Alex Earl reality series at Netflix." So yeah, Alex and David go way back in business. It's totally possible that her appearance was part of that ongoing partnership. Some fans even joked that David might have seen it as the perfect storyline for Alex's Netflix show. Like, imagine her getting this once-in-a-lifetime moment at the Super Bowl halftime show. And since Bad Bunny and David are tight, it might have just been one of those why not collaborations that happen naturally behind the scenes. Oh, and get this. Alex actually made a brief cameo in Happy Gilmore 2, which also starred Bad Bunny. So this isn't the first time their names have crossed paths publicly. Between the movie connection, the restaurant partnership, and her new show deal, the dots definitely connect. Still, that didn't stop people from debating her appearance online. Some felt she didn't belong on that stage, while others thought the performance was a beautiful, inclusive celebration that reflected global unity. Because honestly, this halftime show had been sparking conversation long before Bad Bunny even stepped on stage. And when you really think about it, plenty of halftime performers over the years haven't been from the US either. Fans pointed out names like Rihanna, Shakira, The Who, and Coldplay, reminding everyone that the Super Bowl stage has always been about music that moves people, no matter where it comes from. A lot of people kept bringing up that past Super Bowl performers like Rihanna, Shakira, Coldplay, and The Who weren't even US citizens. Yet no one complained back then? That's what made this whole thing with Bad Bunny so confusing. People were saying he's not American, when in fact, Bad Bunny is a US citizen because Puerto Rico is a US territory. But the real issue seemed to be that his entire performance was in Spanish, and that's what triggered the loudest critics. It's wild how something as simple as performing in another language caused so much outrage. Social media was on fire with opinions. Everyone had something to say. Some people called it inspiring and beautiful. Others acted like it was some kind of political statement. This year's halftime show didn't just entertain, it divided people like never before. But honestly, I thought Bad Bunny's performance was incredible. It wasn't just a show. It was a full-blown celebration. The energy, the colors, the dancing. It literally looked like a massive party exploding right there on the field. The way the crowd moved, the lights, the special guests. It all came together perfectly. And when I saw the behind-the-scenes clips later, I was shocked. Did you guys realize that all that greenery on the field, those lush plants and vines, were actually real people in costume? That's crazy. Like, what do you mean those weren't props? The level of creativity and attention to detail was insane. And it actually made sense too, since they only get a few minutes to set up and take everything down. Using people as part of the stage design was genius. There was definitely a lot said this year, and a lot of drama surrounding it. But one thing's for sure, it got everyone talking. Now I'm curious, what did you think about Bad Bunny's halftime performance? Were you into it, or do you think it missed the mark? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I seriously want to know what side you're on. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video if you loved the performance as much as I did. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.